Berachos Daf Chav Ches, we're continuing the famous story where they removed Rabbi Gamliel as the Nasi and they replaced him with Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who that day turned 18, and the famous Nace, R Eli Stefansky, his beard turned white. That day that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah became the Nasi, he opened up the doors, he removed the gatekeeper, and there's a machlokes whether 400 more benches filled up with Talmidim or 700. Rabbi Gamliel felt really bad. He says, look how much Torah I prevented from so many people, and they came in his dream and they showed him white vessels with ashes inside, meaning that they were not, their inside wasn't as perfect as their outside. And the Gemara says, but it was a lie. In fact, these people were proper people, they were royal to learn Torah, they just wanted to make Rabbi Gamliel feel good. That day is where Masechtes Idiyos or Ediyos was written and authored. Everybody came with all the perfect halachas. Any time in Shas that's mentioned Boy Bayayim, it's referring to that day that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah became the Nasi. Any halacha that they had a question about became resolved, and Rabbi Gamliel didn't prevent himself from going back into the Beis Medrash and even fighting again with Rabbi Yeshua and halacha. In fact, there was a big fight between him and Rabbi Yeshua whether in Amoini Yehuda, there's a person Yehuda who came from Amoin, whether he could be a ger or not. It says in the Torah that we cannot accept gerim from Amoin. Rabbi Yeshua claimed that Sancheriv came and mixed up all the nations, and therefore they are no longer considered Amoinim, called a Parish, Meruba Parish. This particular non-Jew comes from the Roiv, and therefore we accept him. Rabbi Gamliel argued with him, and everybody agreed to Rabbi Yeshua. Says Rabbi Gamliel, if everybody agrees to Rabbi Yeshua, I see that perhaps I made a mistake by fighting with him. And he went to ask him Mechila. He went to his door. He saw that the walls of his house were black. He realized he's a pacham. He deals with things that make his house black. And he says, I see you're a pachami. Rabbi Yeshua tells him back, I see you don't understand the needs of Klal Yisrael, the Talmid Chachamim, how the misparnas. And he says, I accept. And I ask him Mechila. Rabbi Yeshua didn't take the Mechila. Says the Gemara an amazing thing. So he says, well, at least Rabbi Gamliel tells Rabbi Yeshua, at least be meichel me in the honor of my forefathers. As you see, his great-great-grandfather was Hillel. And look at all the Doilim, all the Nasiim that came from Hillel all throughout until Rabbi Gamliel, and in fact, Rabbi Yeshua was Meichelim. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Kiva said, if so, once Rabbi Yeshua was Meichel Rabbi Gamliel, we could reinstate Rabbi Gamliel. What do we do? They sent the launderer, and the launderer said in the Remez the words of Rabbi Yeshua. He said, let the person that wears the clothing, the cloak, continue wearing the cloak, referring to Rabbi Gamliel, and the one who doesn't, referring to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, he shouldn't say, give me your cloak, let me wear it. Rabbi Gamliel didn't accept it. Says Rabbi Kiva, let's close the doors, let's not allow the servants, the slaves of Rabbi Gamliel to come and persuade us. So Rabbi Shua himself went to Rabbi Gamliel, and Rabbi Shua said, a person, a Kayan, who's the son of a Kayan, who does Hazah and sprinkles the ashes of the Paraduma, he continues to sprinkle, so too you're the son of a Nasi, and therefore you should be the Nasi. The question is, so he accepted it. The question is, what do we do with Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? He's already the Nasi. You don't go lower in Kedusha. So what they said is, Rabbi Gamliel will say 3 weeks of Shiurim, and on the 4th week it should be Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. They didn't switch off, alternate week to week, because that will bring Kina. Reb Zera, says the Gemara, was very weak. He couldn't learn Torah, but he wanted to gain sechusim, so he sat by the mismarish, and every time a Talmid Chacham walked in, he stood up. It's amazing. He couldn't learn Torah, he was able to stand up. And he heard the following halacha from in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that if somebody is late with his musaf, he davens musaf after 7 hours, he's considered a poisheya. Yet, if he has the option of davening mincha or musaf, he should daven mincha first, because mincha is tadir. Reb Zera repeated this halacha 40 times in order not to forget that he heard it from Rabbi Yochanan and not from Yeshua ben Levi. To taste food before musaf, like we call it the Kiddush Club, according to Rav Huna, it's asr, la halacha, it's mutter. I'm not saying the Kiddush Club is mutter. To eat before mincha, according to Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, is asr, but la halacha, it's mutter. And this brings us to Amid Beis. If a person is davening in a shul with a tzibur and they're not holding by musaf yet, it's asr for him to daven musaf before everybody else, but if he's b'yichidus and the shul is holding, they could. Says the Mishnah, the Reb Nechunya ben Akana had a special tefillah that he would say before he walked into the Beis Medrash and before he started learning. And the Gemara says it goes as follows: I shouldn't make a mistake in halacha. V'yismechu bi chaverai. Amazing. My friend shouldn't be happy that I made a mistake in halacha. Now they can make fun of me. This will be two problems. First of all, I made a mistake in halacha. Second of all, I'm causing them to make fun of me. And I shouldn't say on tamei tar and tar tamei, and my friend shouldn't be nichshal in halacha, and I should make fun of them. And when he comes out of the basement, he should say, Ani mashkim, everybody knows this from the siyumim. Instead of saying Anu ani mashkim, l'divrei Torah ve'im mashkim dvar telim ani rotz ve'im rotzim rotz l'chaim ha'olam ba ve'im rotzim l'ber shachas, etc. When Rebbe Eliezer was sick, he told his talmidim, if you want olam haba, do the following things, and he says it in this order. It's very interesting. First, treat your friends with respect. That's number one. Number two, don't allow your children to learn too much chumash, because then they'll stay away from Gemara. Have your children be surrounded by Talmid Chachamim, put them in a place of Talmid Chachamim, and when you daven, the number one rule in davening is not so much to have kavana, etc., but to remember who are you davening to. When Rabbi Yochanan was about to die, he was crying, and they asked him, why are you crying? He said, if for a basar v'dam, for a person, a regular king, we're so fearful that he could judge us and put us in jail, etc., but it's a king that today he's here, tomorrow he's gone. You could convince him, you could bribe him. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm not going to be afraid. I don't know if I'm going to Gan Eden, says Rabbi Yochanan. And he gave them a bracha that your Yirah Shamayim should be as you should have fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu like you fear human beings. And he said right before his death, he said, get the Kalim out of my house, they're about to be Tameh, and prepare a seat for Chizkiyahu, Melech Yehuda. He's coming to greet me. I'm going to be in his place in Gan Eden. Says the Mishnah, according to Rabbi Gamliel, you say the full Shemona Esrei. According to Rabbi Yeshua, you say Me'ein Shemona Esrei. You say not all of it, you say the beginning and the end. And according to Rabbi Akiva, it depends. If you know how to say Shemona Esrei very well, then you say Shemona Esrei. If not, you say Me'ein Shemona Esrei. In a place of sakana, you say something called the Tefillah K'tzara. And the difference between that and Havinenu is that if you say Tefillah K'tzara, you must repeat it again later on. And what's a Tefillah K'tzara? You say, V'shah Hashem Samchas She'eres Yisrael B'chol Parshas Ha'ibor Yutz Rochayim L'fonecha Baruch Atah Hashem Shemei Tefillah. The person who's riding on a donkey, he must get off the donkey in order to daven. If he can't, he should turn his head towards Yerushalayim. And if he can't, he should at least be mechaven in his heart to Yerushalayim. If he's on a boat, he should be mechaven in his heart to the Kodesh Kodashim. Why do we say Shemona Esrei, 18 brachas? One man says because the 18, it represents the 18 Shemos of Hashem in the capital of Havul Hashem B'nai Elam, or the 18 Shemos in Kriya Shema, or the 18 vertebrae that we have in our spine. Have a wonderful day.